Hi everyone. Today we're going to be talking about Wong Kar-wai's In the Mood for Love. And even though I felt that this movie was especially slow at times, maybe even infuriatingly slow, I still think that it did a really good job at exploring themes of love, longing, and loneliness. But one thing that really stood out to me was the consistent use of a frame within the frame technique, because I noticed that whenever Mr. Chow and Mrs. Chan were doing something that they weren't supposed to, or something that may be misconstrued by society, the camera would always place them behind windows or doorways or corridors or mirrors, right? And that would sort of give the audiences the sense that they're almost like intruding upon their private moments. So in a way, that would make us somewhat complicit in crossing these boundaries. And um, and I think that this movie is more than just romance and secrecy, because the time frame within which it's set during, like the 1960s, it was a time of great political and social turmoil, and people just had this constant feeling of living under surveillance. So they just had to live with this constant sense of paranoia and like general instability. I feel like these visual choices kind of like reflected this broader socio-political issue and not just the characters' emotional lives.
Yeah, I agree. I agree in the sense that, for example, the film was captured with cramped apartment spaces, which in a way symbolized, time of society where, as you said, walls were thin, doors always half open, and the private life was always, constantly exposed in that small neighborhood, and it created a fear inside of them of being discovered of their secret of or being discovered of their hidden repressed feelings for each other. And their paranoia, if looked at, it wasn't just about the neighbors. They started, role playing too about of their spouse's affair, and this, kind of blurred the line between their reality and the story they were acting out. They started becoming, paranoid that they will turn into the very people that they despise, that is their spouses.
Yeah, I also agree with it because when we see Mr. Chow and Mrs. Chan framed behind doorways or through windows, it's not just about their secret relationship, but rather it's also reflects how people in 1960s at Hong Kong were living under such constant watch, making us the silent witnesses to their bond or relationship and the broader atmosphere of surveillance.
And even the slow motion scenes kind of enhanced that, which were a lot in the movie. It showed how they were always on a high alert, as if every second held some kind of potential for disaster or danger, or people listening to them or overhearing them. And yeah, so it also, kind of made them hyper aware of every sound and every moment that they made. And as viewers too, we felt that while watching the movie.
Yeah, what I like the most about Wonka Wai is that his masterful use of color like red, which expresses the hidden emotion of Mr. Chan and Mr. Chow, which also creates a visual image that speaks much more than words, which falls silent. Here, red represents passion and the unspoken desire, which captures the character's inner turmoil, whereas Mrs. Chan's red Sams, like in the scene where she goes down the noodle stall steps, reveals her suppressed longing beneath a composed exterior. While red in Chinese culture usually symbolizes luck and celebration, but in this movie, it carries a bittersweet weight, love restrained by societal norms. So the red hallway walls where Mrs. Chan and Mrs. Chow, where they pass silently, their shoulders brushing, it turns the apartment into a charged space of something yarning with lanterns and crimsons tones pulsing with unspoken emotions.
Um, I mean, red, yeah. Red, I think, meant a bit something different for me. Red meant one of the big others in the movie. I think there are few big other. The most important one, of course, being the last scene in the temple in Cambodia, right? So I kind of had a very different, I mean, not different, but a psychoanalytic interpretation of the movie. I think this movie was not at all about love. I think there is a lack of love in the movie. I think it's more about desire. So, of course, these two people are objects of desire, objektivitet for each other, but as well, so they, they desire each other, but there is this impossibility of their actually being together. And why is this? Is because the first condition of their quote unquote love for each other is that they're not like their spouses. They're the other one, like they're the good ones. They're the victims, right? They have not done anything wrong. Uh, but the second they will try to act on their love based on the condition, this condition will break apart. Hence, they will not be able to actually be with each other, because that means that they are no longer the good ones. They are the bad ones after that. So I think it's more about desire, and there is this big other figure. I think this movie is of course about Wong Kar-wai looking back. So this is released in 2000, and in 1997, Hong Kong gets transferred and everything to from the mm, British to the Chinese, right? So it's also about that and this kind of big other, which is the stable traditional temple in Cambodia. And this Cambodia scene also means this, but in all of it, there is this perversion. They have to identify with the bad spouses and so on. So I think I think
But even
it's
time
about
and
that.
space,
Yeah, of course. That
time and space kind of, yeah, because it was very non-linear, right? Wong made it very non-linear, so like days blurred into nights and scenes kept feeling like repetitions of similar gestures. Example, them passing through the corridors, walking, buying noodles. So these shots, played over and over again, which also became fixed points in a sea of kind of forgotten time.
yeah.
Yeah, as if like time was looping, not progressing. So as you said, a desire that cannot move forward.
I think time is very important, but right now the time is up, so I think we have to finish it here. Okay,
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
thank you.